Hello, this is Mike Gibbons for BreakoutWatch.com. In this short video, I want to show you how you can get the most out of our technical analysis charts. So let's get to it. Now the first thing I want to show you is how a technical analysis chart, which is taken from a watch list, differs from a technical analysis chart that you might generate from our bow chart area up on the header of the page. So let's look at a cup with handle chart for our watch list, which was last Friday, the 12th of September. We click on a symbol and we see a chart which is clearly annotated with the type of pattern that we're looking at. In this case, a cup with handle pattern. It shows the left cup, the pivot, which is on the right side of the cup, the base low, and we shade the cup area and the handle area so it's easy to see. Now compare that with the same chart that we might generate from our bow chart box. Now in this case we see that there's no annotation. The chart is quite basic. It shows us our candlestick open, high, low, close bars and our volume. So immediately we see a difference between the technical analysis chart that's produced from a watch list and that which is produced as a standard chart. Let's look at another watch list. Let's look at the double bottom list. And so I'll pick CPS here. Now for the double bottom, we clearly show where the two bottoms are, and we show the pivot point in between, the left lip or left cup, and once again we shade the areas so it's easy to see where each bottom lies. This is a double bottom chart, so as the stock rises on the right side here, and if it were to break through the price level at this pivot point, then that would be considered a breakout, assuming of course that volume was sufficient. So on each of the watch lists you'll see a chart which is very specifically designed for that particular watch list. If we look at the squeeze plate list, let's look at FSLR. Now in this case we see a more complicated chart, and what we're showing here are on the top price chart we're showing the Bollinger Band and the Keltner channel. Now a squeeze occurs when the Bollinger Band is completely encapsulated within the Keltner channel, as it is here. Now when that happens, we show on our squeeze chart below that a squeeze has occurred by coloring in this center line with black rectangles. So you see here the Bollinger Band is completely within the Keltner channel, and down below here we see black rectangles which show that it was in a squeeze. Now on this squeeze chart we also show the momentum. This is positive momentum and negative momentum, and we slightly shade each of those bands differently depending upon whether momentum increased or decreased on each consecutive day. Now let's have a look at how we might use our chart browser. Let's go back to our cup with handle chart, and we'll see a tab here called Chart Browser. So let's click on that. Oh, and we get a warning which says we're about to browse 217 charts. Click Cancel to stop loading. So that would be quite slow if we were to proceed, so let's cancel that. And I'm going to set some filters so that I get a smaller list of charts to look at. Now I'm going to set up quite a simple filter. I'm going to set a requirement, the RS rank, that's to say the relative strength rank, is greater than or equal to 90. I'm going to make filters active on this watch list, and I'm going to update and apply. Now we get a much smaller list. It's only got about 10 symbols on it. And now if I choose the Chart Browser tab, we see a chart for HPJ, and in this case, because it's the chart browser, we produce a more generalized chart which will cover all kinds of circumstances depending upon which type of pattern we're looking at. We can see that we're still showing the cup with handle pattern with the left side, the pivot, and the base low, but we're also overlaying that with the two channels, the Bollinger Band and the Keltner channel, which we would use for a squeeze chart, and we're also showing for a squeeze pattern, and we're also showing the squeeze chart below. We can browse the charts and see quite quickly what each pattern is, or we can choose a tab at the bottom here and we'll go straight to the chart for that particular symbol. So finally, I'd like to show you how you can tailor a TA chart to provide the particular studies that you may be interested in watching. So let's choose, we already looked at PTX, so let's look at that again. I'm going to leave the setting to 6 months and a daily chart. I click go, and here's our standard TA chart. The default is to show a candlestick pattern, a 50-day moving average, a 200-day moving average, and the volume chart. Well, we can change that by clicking on any of the areas over here. For example, we may want to see just simply a closing price chart. We may want to remove the moving averages, so we can say no moving average, and update the chart. And there we have a simple closing price chart with volume. Now you can add a particular study to the chart by choosing technical indicators here. So here we're asking for the Chaikin money flow. We might also be interested in the MACD. So let's update our chart. Now the two studies that we've added are shown below the chart. Now if you wanted to see this kind of presentation each time you looked at a chart, what you would do is you would ask to save your technical analysis preferences by checking the box here and updating the chart. Now that particular set of preferences is saved with your username. To see how that works, let's say we want to look at Apple. So we enter the symbol for Apple, click go, and now we see Apple with the same studies on it that we set as our TA preferences. One last thing is that if you were looking at these charts while the market's open, you can click on the intraday box or button here, and we will show you the price movement for that particular day. Up to that particular point of the day where you chose the intraday chart. Here it's showing you the data for Friday, and of course I'm doing this on Sunday, so it's showing us the full intraday chart for Apple. Okay, well I hope you found that helpful, and you should be able to get more out of both the watchlist charts, the chart browser, and the TA charts when you're using the site in future. Thank you for listening.